Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham.
Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Manojabam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayudha Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhye. Namaste. Welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam for another divine satsang where we begin with Yogic Kriyas followed by a study in Sundarakand. Today I shall demonstrate these Kriyas sitting on the chair for those of you who have been practicing it and for some of you who are new and who wanted to know how to do it on the chair. So let us begin with the Omkar Kriya. Along with every Om, let a lot of air escape from the lungs. Lean forward to empty the lungs. And then you inhale and come up. Let's sit up tall and straight. Inhale. Inhale, come up. Gently shift your awareness to your stomach. Pull your stomach slightly in and hold it there. Lock it in place. It's called the Uddiyana Bandha, the Lagu version. All the movement takes place in the region of the chest. The stomach stays locked. Holding this position and try and hold this throughout the Kriyas. Take a deep breath. Let's do the second Om as you breathe out. Inhale. Om. Inhale, come on. Gently shift your awareness to your throat. Partially close the glottis. And begin the Ujjayi breath, where you suck the air in for inhalation through the throat and push the air out, again using the throat muscles. Listen to the sound of breath as you inhale, and let's go for the third Om. Inhale, come on. Gently begin the Kamala Kriya, maintaining the Bandha and the Ujjayi breath. Begin the Kamala Kriya. Inhale, open up your palms. Exhale, close. Allow the palms to reflect the lungs. Inhale, the lung expands, the palms open like the petals of a lotus. Exhale, the lungs contract, and so do the palms. Maintain the Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. All right. Kaka Shuddhi, Kriya. Again, maintaining the bandha, mouth spouted like a beak of a crow. You first inhale through the nostrils, a powerful exhalation through the mouth, almost as if you're coughing, and then you continue that breath throughout till you can breathe out no more. Then you breathe in and come up. Sit up tall and straight. Inhale. Let's go. Then immediately go into the next round. Again, we'll do 5 such rounds. Once you're done, Kamala Kriya. Practice the Kamala Kriya mindfully. Enter the world of breath. Listen and feel the breath. All right. Agnisara Kriya. We're going to move the prana up to the chest. So you're going to breathe out, hold the breath out, pull the stomach fully in, flap the stomach in and out. It activates the heat in this region, so it pushes the prana up and holds it back in the chest. We will do this 5 consecutive. So you inhale and come up, and again exhale fully. Hold the breath out, do the Kriya, inhale, and again go into the next one. Thus, do 5 of these. You're welcome to do along, but you don't have to time it with me, at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale fully and begin the Kriya. Once you're done, go into Kamala Kriya. Establish the link between the palms, the movement of the fingers, and the movement in the lungs. All right, wonderful. Let's do Markata Kriya, the movement with your whole body coordinated with the breathing. Just follow along if you're new. It's very simple. Every alternate inhalations, exhalations, we move. Keep your stomach pulled in. Use all the breathing in the region of the chest. Each round contains 10 steps. We'll do 3 such rounds. Sit up tall and straight. Let's begin. Right hand up, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, go down to the right. Stomach pulled in. Inhale. Exhale, go down to the left. Inhale. Exhale, down straight. Inhale halfway. Exhale, twist. Keep your stomach pulled in. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Maintain this bandha. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Stomach pulled in. Exhale. Inhale. 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 Exhale. Kamala Kriya. Keep the bandha in place. Feel the prana in the chest. All right. Let's do the Pranayama Kriya. For those of you sitting on the floor, you can do the Vajrasana. Those of you in the chair, keep your knees either slightly together or keep it where it is. It doesn't matter. You could do it with a bolster. Lean forward so you can breathe through the back of your lungs, like so. So sit up tall and straight. You can make your hands perform the mudra if you will. And you can place it and hold it like this if you are using a bolster. If you're sitting on the chair and not using a bolster, then place it like this and go down. So I'm going to demonstrate this. Inhale. As you exhale, press against your stomach. Lean forward. Drop your head down. Use the back of the lungs to breathe. At least 5 full rounds. For those of you who are using the bolster, maintain the Kriya this way. Like so. Inhale, use the back of the lungs between the shoulder blades. Keep the stomach pulled in. Inhale and come up. Maintain the bandha, release the mudra as you exhale. Those of you in the ground, come back to your seated posture. Get ready for Bhastrika. Those of you in the chair, let's do some Kamala Kriyas. All right. Let's get ready for the Bhastrika Pranayama. Now by this time you should be in the world of breath. So in that dimension, the breath is around you. The breath is not inside you. So when you do the Bhastrika, imagine a storm around you. With practice, this will become a reality. And then when that storm dies down, you will establish a powerful sense of peace in that dimension, and that dimension will begin to reflect in the physical dimension as well. So sit up tall and straight. These are some of the yogic benefits. Physical, of course, you're cleansing the lungs, and a lot of physical benefits also happen incidentally. Sit up tall and straight. First round of Bhastrika, 30 Kriyas. Do as many as you can. Do it slow. We're going to inhale, exhale sharply as you bring your hands down. Keep your stomach pulled in. All the inhalations, exhalations happen in the region of the chest. Your lungs are the bellows of the blacksmith. Whenever you're ready, let's go. Kamala Kriya. All right. Second round of Bhastrika Kriyas. Again, maintain the bandha. This time try and do a little faster if you can, and if you wish to, you can do the same speed again. A little faster, 30 Kriyas. Whenever you're ready, begin. Inhale. Excellent. The last round. Faster pace than the other two. If you wish to and if you can. Again, you don't have to do all 30. Listen to your body. Whenever you're ready, maintain the bandha. Let's go. Kriya. All right. Let left palm continue Kamala Kriya. Right hand closed. Bring down the forefinger and the middle finger. Close the right nostril. We'll do the left in, right out. Left in, right out. Right in, left out. We're doing the Nadi Shodhana Kriya. So alternate nostril. Left in, right out. Right in, left out. Left in 4 counts, right out 8. Right in 4, left out 8. Close the right nostril. Shoulders relaxed, neck down. Let's begin the pranayama.
Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमणे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने।
Namaste. Welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam. Sorry for that slight delay. I think we're having a microphone issue. One of my microphones is not coming on. I'm not sure why. Anyway. So in this Sundarakand, in this wonderful chapter, chapter 58, we are at the moment where Hanuman is recounting his experiences to his fellow Vanaras. That gives us all a chance, who are studying this in detail, a chance to review what happened with Hanuman. What was that story about him jumping, crossing the ocean, the obstacles he came across? What was his take on all of this? What was his perspective? And so it gives us a chance to review that, and through Hanuman's own mouth, we get a chance to revisit all the important aspects of what we need to take home. In today's Satsang, we shall study the second obstacle that Hanuman came across. And the first three obstacles that he comes across are really the most important obstacles in our spiritual progress as well. And so I'm giving it special attention here and devoting time to study this in detail. What was the second obstacle? But before we go there, I got a couple of feedback from what we spoke yesterday about imagination and how we can free ourselves from Mayaka. Because why did I come up with this term imagination? Because it is kind of, all these solutions are hidden in the way these scriptures are told, the stories that are told. So the mountain has wings. So when we have wings, we can escape from the mountain. So the idea of wings, I started meditating and thinking, why is Valmiki didn't say just a mountain? Why was that story of a mountain with a wing under the sea? That means that it has a potential. The earth element under the Swadhisthana, under the water element, has the potential to rise. And so this is a mountain with wings. And so how can we, so the wings led me to the idea of wings of imagination. The only way you and I can, in our thoughts, take off is when we have the wings of imagination. And so imagination helps us build this beautiful dimension and create our own reality, right? Everything that we look around is a product of our imagination. Every aspect, every little object that you see, a glass in front of you perhaps, or the chair or the sofa you're sitting on, or the television you're watching, or the iPad you're holding in your hand, all of them was an idea, an imagination in somebody's mind. And therefore that imagination slowly, as they developed, it became concrete, and finally it materialized itself into a physical object. So what is an idea? An idea is a product of imagination. People who don't have imagination, there's nobody like that. But I'm just saying, if you don't have imagination, you won't get ideas. Ideas are children of imagination. So imagination is vital for us to create a dimension of our own, and that dimension becomes real. Real in every sense of the term. If you perceive a rope as a snake, and I just spoke about this a couple of days ago as part of the Guru Purnima talk, and it's there on YouTube, and I've shared the link as well with you all. But if you perceive a rope as a snake, that imagination that it's a snake, that perception, could cause a physical reality. Your heart will actually start beating faster, your pulse will raise, your blood pressure might go up, you may start sweating, you'll feel fear, your body will be paralyzed. So how does that idea translate itself into a physical reality? Now, this is not something new, right? It's known to all of us. Excuse me. This is known to all of us. And therefore, it is important that we understand the power of ideas, power of imagination.
So the question that came to me was, wait a minute, on the one side, you're talking of core value system around which our lives should revolve, and we examine those core value system. Then you say we need the wings as well. So how do we balance between these two? Aren't they in contradiction? If I've understood a couple of these questions that came to me right. It is both are important. Both are important. You need to have core value system. Think of a tree. A tree goes deep into the ground and digs its roots deeper into the ground. In other words, it goes deeply, it gets grounded in the core value system. And its core values are driving prana from the earth, water from the earth, and so on. So that is its core values. So you and I have certain value system, certain belief system that has to be developed, examined on an everyday basis, strengthened, developed. As experiences come, we keep changing that, not entirely. But for example, if truth is one of my core values, Satya is one of my core values, then I keep examining what is my definition of truth. So far, what have I learned? How do I understand? And then I allow that to sink in. And then as weeks and months and years go by, I revisit that and ask how's that definition changed, become more expanded, more enriched perhaps? Because life's experience begins to teach that as well. So you're constantly, the roots of the tree is not a stagnant thing, it is constantly growing deeper and deeper and deeper. But as the roots go deeper, it does not prevent the tree from growing and flowering and going tall. In fact, as we all know, the deeper the roots are, the more higher the tree can grow, the stronger is the tree, the less chances it has of getting uprooted. So you need to have core value system, a core belief system that is powerful and strong. And that strength helps you expand. So in the tree, it is pretty straightforward in the analogy of a tree. But in our case, if the belief system itself is wrong, if the belief system itself is conditioned, then like the wings of Mainaka, our wings are, we hide the wings and unable to fly, we go into the sea and sit under the sea. And all the beauty of the Mainaka mountain, the shining golden peaks and all of that is not seen. And that's what happens to us. So we have a belief system that can bind us and hold us back. And so the imagination that we have sets us free and helps enrich the belief system, at the same time helps us expand. So one has to understand this and take it from there, that how a wrong belief system can hold you back and give you wrong sense of imagination. So you are expanding, but then you're expanding in a completely different dimension altogether, because your belief system is getting more and more conditioned, more and more fixed in its ideas. And therefore, after a point, you say, this is it. Like, for example, if I would tell you, this is all there is to life, the five senses, there's nothing more, there are no other dimensions or anything, that's just imagination. There is nothing there, it's false. This is real. Let's be real, guys. Come down to earth. Let's talk facts and figures. Where do I get that from? And why have I stopped even thinking of other dimensions? Because my core belief system has stopped. I have said this in my belief system, that reality is based on what the senses are able to perceive. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. And therefore, my idea and my imagination can also be limited to that, right? But if I have concepts and ideas in my core belief system, values like faith, what does faith mean? What does belief mean? I put that in my core belief system. What does Satya mean? Truth. I drop that into my core belief system. I say, let Satya guide my life. Let Dharma, right action in the right context, right action and right speech guide my life. That is the kind of value system I drop in. So they provide me a chance to grow continuously, because these are open-ended values, available for growth, available for Complete, perfect customization. Let love be the guide in my life. So, love, what does love mean to you? Allow that core belief of love to guide your thoughts, words, and deeds. And that love you keep examining as well. And along with the experiences of life, you get to redefine that concept of love. So, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, peace. What is peace? What is love? What is non-violence? So, if all of these are my value system, my core belief system, I truly believe in these. What does that mean? What do you mean by non-violence? Write it down. What do you mean by love? Write it down. And study that, apply that. Then life's experiences will help you to restudy these values, redefine them, and they get more and more and more enriched. And as they become more enriched, your level of imagination, in other words, you can create realities of your own. So it's a very powerful gift that is given to us. So that was the lesson from Mainaka. Today's lesson is different. So what was the second obstacle? For those of us who have taken that gift of imagination and crossed the Mainaka, at least to some extent, like Hanuman did. Okay. So what happens is we come across the next one. And it will only come after we cross Mainaka. That's why it's important to understand the sequence of events here. So when we cross Mainaka is about please come and take rest, come and eat fruits. Take rest, eat fruits. So it is eating and resting, shelter and food, food and shelter. So I want to survive, I need shelter. So that basic importance, Mooladhara, if that is, once you cross that, then this terrible serpent comes up to eat you, right? The Surasa, she comes. So she comes to eat Hanuman because the gods have told her to test Hanuman. This is how the story goes. Of course, Hanuman says, I crossed Mainaka, and then this deadly serpent comes up, and I tell the serpent with respect. So the first approach to these are senses. So the first respect to these, the serpent that represent our senses. We discussed this a lot on, I think it was day 12 or day 13 of the Yagna, where we studied this in detail. So the senses is ready to eat you up. That's what happens here, right? For us in our everyday life. When we say our reality, let's come down to reality. We are talking of senses. Senses, as we are consumed by the senses. So we think everything should make sense in the senses dimension, the dimension of the sense. Even the existence of God, divinity, my spiritual experiences should make sense in my senses. Otherwise, it's not an experience. We almost put it away as imagination. That is why I said, let us develop imagination, because that's a different dimension altogether. It's not unreal. We create a reality in that dimension. And eventually that will manifest itself in the senses as well. But that's in the long run. So what has happened in the meantime is senses gobble us. We are slaves to the sense of tongue to a large extent. We are slaves to the sense of touch. We like something the way it feels. We don't like something the way it feels. So we have formed our likes and dislikes. Most of our likes and dislikes, what I eat, what I don't, what I like to eat, what I don't like to eat, what I like, what taste I like, what tastes I don't like, what I like to touch, what is not good for touch. So all of that again, what smell do I like, what smells do I don't like. So what sounds do I like, what sounds do I don't like. Everything is related to senses. So we are caught. But Hanuman is teaching us what to do, how to take the senses. So Hanuman tells the Vanara, the snake opened her mouth, I also grew in size, and she grew even bigger. Hanuman makes this part short, but Valmiki said how 10 times each one keeps growing, and they're growing and growing. And Hanuman, by growing bigger than the snake, he makes her open her mouth more, and she keeps on opening her mouth so wide. Because what is the condition? That nobody can go cross her, nobody can bypass her. They have to enter her mouth and go out. They have to enter her mouth. If they escape her, that's fine, but they have to enter the mouth. So that was the condition. She said, I've got this gift from the Creator, so there is no way you can go past me. So Hanuman first tells the Vanaras that he first pleaded with her. He said, I'm on God's work. Please leave me alone. Let me finish the job and come. I'll do whatever you want, but right now let me go. So with the senses, it doesn't work. You can't talk to the senses and say, please don't, oh tongue, please don't tempt me. Please tongue, don't do that. We can't do that, right? The tongue doesn't have a brain of its own. So we have created it in such a way that we assume that the tongue is controlling us. To a large extent it is, but that is because we have succumbed to it. So we can't pray to the tongue to say, please stay away, don't tempt me with food and all the tasty things. I want to go on a diet and I want to be healthy. Please don't tempt me. You can't tell that to the tongue. The more you tell, the more it is going to grow up inside. So here what Hanuman says is control. So he brings in discipline, the concept of discipline. So I'm going to share a word with you. It's probably two, I don't know, but the word is self-mastery. Self-mastery is the only way that we can learn to handle this serpent that we call the senses. The senses are one of the greatest obstacles because it consumes us. We cannot escape the senses. We cannot go this way, we cannot go this way, we can't go above it, we can't go below it, because Hanuman himself couldn't do that. So Hanuman had to trick the senses. But before tricking the sense, in other words, tricking the snake, he had to first grow in size. Then the senses grew even bigger. He grew even more bigger. The senses grew even more bigger. So the serpent kept opening her mouth wider and wider and wider. Then Hanuman could immediately shrink in size, go into the mouth and come out. So I talked about this in the concept of what is it that makes us addicted to our senses? What is it that makes us slave to our senses? Why do we get trapped into the mouth? Because what happens is just barely she opens her mouth, we go in, we get sucked in. And she closes the mouth very easily. But if she opens her mouth, let's say there is one of the senses tempts us to do something. Let us say the sense of taste. And there is a sweet dish in front of you and it's tempting you. You take a little bit just to please the host, half a spoon maybe, and then you say thank you. And then somebody says, no, you must have some more. So now when you say no to it, you are growing in size. The serpent is watching, right? The sense of taste, serpent, one of the senses watching. You grow in size and you say no, enough. Then the serpent opens bigger, come into me. So now the temptation is there, but we are controlling, we are growing bigger. Then the friend says, come on, yeah, this is only a weekend. Come on, you should have it once in a while. When do we meet? And so on. Something happens. So you might tempt it. You might get tempted. And we do often time, right? We fall for it and the snake gobbles us. In other words, once again we go and fall prey to the sense of taste. But if Hanuman says, I grow bigger, then the snake opens even wider. In other words, the senses don't give up so easily. So you allow the senses to open its mouth wide, but you get higher and higher. Then it will be so powerful, you will be so powerful that you can become small, enter in and come out. What does that mean? We talked about it in that class. We said when the brain triggers that, before the brain fires the neuron, you will be able to quickly go in and out of that experience. So it will not fire that trigger. And it will not do it in such a way that it creates a cascading effect and you just mindlessly follow that desire and impulsively indulge in something. Because it is a trigger in the brain. So you stop the neuron from firing. You stop that trigger from triggering the neuron. So that comes with self-mastery. It is not an easy thing. It's easy to understand the concept of why it's happening. But then in order to bring it into practice, one has to be living a life of what Baba calls it as constant integrated awareness. That is why the word that we use is practice, sadhana or abhyasa, practice. So in practice, practicing what? Practicing constantly The awareness that you're an integrated being, your mind, body, spirit, we are all integrated. They are not separate watertight compartments. What I eat, and when I succumb to a sense of taste, there is a part of me that is becoming weak mentally and spiritually, right? And then I think I have to progress in meditation. It doesn't work like that. So Hanuman teaches us how self-mastery is the key to overcome Surasa. I know this term self-mastery is not everyone's favorite, um, but it's better than self-control. Self-mastery is you know that you are the master of this body, you are the master of the senses, and you are the master of this self. That in this case, the self is not the Atmic self, but the self is Sundar. So, who is the master of Sundar? I am. I am playing the role of Sundar. So I am the master of Sundar's body, Sundar's senses, and therefore I will play this role in accordance with the universal divine principles. So what is it? I need to have self-mastery. That is what we need to practice, self-mastery. And that is why this whole concept of spiritual practices and all are. None of them are meant to please any God anywhere. There is no God waiting to punish you in case you fail in one of these practices. It doesn't work like that. We may believe in those things, but those are our limiting beliefs. And if you do any of these out of fear or guilt, then it doesn't take you anywhere. But when you practice it knowing that I want to establish a lifestyle of constant, integrated awareness. Think of that. When I'm constantly aware and I'm able to connect the dots between one event, the cause and effect of events in my life, the nature of my thought processes, the food that I eat and my thoughts and my actions and so on, you'll be able to connect all the dots because we are all integrated. We are all integrated. There is really no other truth other than oneness. The one consciousness is manifested as all of this, and therefore we are all part of the one consciousness. And even within me, there is no such thing as one being separate from the other. That the concept of separation, division, is completely against spirituality. Completely. I mean, I just can't understand how mankind has come to a point where division has become just a regular part of life. I just can't understand how. None of the greatest masters who walked the earth taught division. But yet, if you see thousands of years later, you have hundreds of schools and organizations following Krishna's teachings in different manner. Each one says they are the right one. How and when did that happen? Jesus Christ's teachings is the same, but there are so many schools of Christianity in place. It's the same thing with every teacher across every religion. It is the same thing with Muhammad, who came and taught. But then you have so many schools of practices that are so different. So what has happened is, in our minds, we have this disease of division. It's almost like the bug bites us if we are not able to divide. Even our subjects and our education has to be done in division. Geography, separate subject. History, separate subject. Science, separate subject. We don't necessarily correlate and combine and have a holistic education where how is this going to affect my lifestyle? How is this going to make me a better personality? Maybe that there is an aim like that, an objective like that in education today, but then it's not so expressed, right? So what we are doing is it's all career focused. How do I make more money? How do I be more successful? So we always think in compartments, in divisions. And so when we think like that internally in divisions, then at some point it will begin to manifest in reality. So no matter what we talk and behave, if in true spirituality, there is no division. There is no division. There is only oneness, a constant integrated awareness Baba's own beautiful teaching is about integration, inclusion. It's never about creating more and more. Those kind of things just doesn't go along with spiritual values at all. So think about this in our daily life. Constantly, I have to be aware that I'm always integrated with my body, mind, and spirit, integrated with the environment. The sun rising is very important for my health, for my psyche, for my spirit. So I'm connected with the sun, and therefore I bow to the sun. Not because I've got some crazy belief that the sun will be happy or sad, but no, it is because I admire and I take a few moments every morning to bow to the sun and call the sun as a friend. Om Hram Mitraya Namaha. Om Hrim Rave Namaha, the one who's bright. Om Krum Suryaya Namaha, the one who's going to make me active. Right? Like this, you do the sun salutation. That is why the practice of that sun salutations came. So you tune in into the source of this energy for this planet Earth, for this body. So the Annamaya Kosha is taken care of. And thus we worship the sun, we worship the wind, we worship the water. When I say worship, we hold them in reverence. And so we begin to understand the integrated nature of our life. When we begin this kind of an integrated approach, self-mastery prevails. Self-mastery is not superimposed discipline. That's why I didn't use the word discipline, because we have commonly understood as a list of do's and don'ts. Self-mastery to me is what brings you harmony into your life. Not balance, harmony. Balance signifies there should be half on this side and half on this side. Otherwise, it's imbalanced. So balance, you don't have to be half and half. It's harmony. Harmony is like a blending of colors. It doesn't have to be equal amount of colors, but that's a beauty. So your blending of colors will be different from mine, and so the product will be different. But the blending is the same, the harmony is the same. So the way I harmonize with the five elements, the way I harmonize with the planets, the celestial bodies that surround the earth, the way I harmonize with human beings and other beings, because they are all connected to these same five elements of earth, water, air, fire, and space. And thus, when I bring this integrated approach into my lifestyle, and these begin to form my core beliefs, then self-mastery is gifted to us. But this kind of integration has to reflect itself in our thoughts, in our words, in our deeds. If I talk of integration as a philosophy, and then in my action it's completely different, then me as a person or an institution is completely defying the very foundations of integratedness and unity and teaching. So this is what we have to understand. Spirituality is not dogmatic. It's not a philosophy that just we do for entertaining ourselves. It's certainly not a pill to escape from the regular rigors of life. It is actually a powerful reality that we can superimpose upon the reality that we have created through the senses, and contain that reality from the senses and reduce it to a small portion of our consciousness, and open our consciousness to a much higher reality where there is unity, where there is love, where there is unconditional attitude to life, and above all, where there is a constant integrated awareness. This is what Hanuman is teaching us with his struggle with the serpent. Because the serpent represents senses, and senses cannot be taken one at a time. You can't say, I'm going to only control my sense of taste. The sense of taste is linked to the other senses. So that's why the word sense control is being misused, misunderstood. Don't approach it by controlling the senses. Then you'll be fighting and controlling for the rest of your life. Don't wage a war in that sense. But establish self-mastery, rise above. Then it will present bigger challenges, rise even bigger. But in that self-mastery, you will learn to grow up, you will learn to become small, And then you can stop a neuron from firing. You can go in and come out before the serpent closes the mouth. Then the smells come and go, the tastes come and go, and you will not be affected. So this is the path. The path of yoga is wonderful in that sense. Whether it is bhakti yoga, the path of devotion, or whether it is the path of wisdom, jnana yoga, or whether it is the path of meditation, raja yoga, or whether it is hatha yoga, the path of physical postures and bodily control. All of them have this concept of self-mastery is unique and applies to all. The constant of integrated awareness applies to all. So bring that into your life. Don't wait for outside forces to somehow influence you. You begin to bring it into your life. Don't wait for the government to tell you to live how to live constant integrated awareness, and you blame the government for not teaching you. Or you blame your school or your church or your temple or your organization, whatever you belong to. Don't blame them. You have to start at an individual. If every individual believes this, if every individual practices that I am part of the universe is part of me, I am not separate. The universe is not separate, and therefore none of these people are separate from me. If every individual feels that, then we will be one united family in this world. I know it sounds like a dream, but why can't we dream that? And so, integrated awareness and self-mastery is the key to overcome this serpent. Remember, Hanuman does not kill the serpent in the story. The next obstacle is what he destroys, but not this. This one, he tricks her. And then he goes into her mouth and comes out and tells her, listen, I satisfied you. I went in and came out just as you told me, but you didn't close your mouth fast enough. So you have to let me go now. And then she says, all right, you carry on with your great work. And she goes into the water again, completely. So Hanuman flies now over the senses. Is completely controlled. She has no power over him. This only comes with a lifestyle, with sadhana, with practice. And let us therefore pray to Hanuman, invoke him and pray to him that he guides us and teaches us the self-mastery. If you make up your mind to get up in the morning, if you make up your mind to do something, just carry on. That's what this next 4 months, like I said, until the Festival of Lights, the Diwali, practice self-mastery. Practice an integrated approach. Practice love, inclusion, not exclusion. Wherever there is talk of division, lack of unity, back off. Because there is no spirit there. There are only egos creating that division. It's not for you and me. As spiritual practitioners, our path is very sacred. So engage in unity. Engage in the path of integrated approach. Engage in self-mastery for the next 4 months and see how reality around you begins to shift. A dimensional shift happens. You draw the right people into your life. You draw the right programs. You draw the right books. Everything around you, suddenly you'll write, wow, how did I miss all this? The magic is happening all around me. Your children will notice it, and they too will draw that same energy. It's just a magical, beautiful and powerful phase. All you have to do is begin with the wings of imagination and carry that imagination into your worship, into your reverence, into your field of devotion and bhakti. Establish that relationship with the divine through the wings of imagination. Talk to him, listen to him. All of that is the wings of imagination. But that alone, and without this, you will fall into the snake. So you cross the Mainaka mountain and also practice self-mastery. Self-mastery. And that comes with when we practice constant integrated awareness. I'm giving you a broad base to build these practices. Otherwise, it would be very easy for you and me to say, okay, give up sweets, give up this, give up that, get up first thing in the morning, bring disciplines, 5 tips to do. Those are putting off fires. But if you don't understand the basis of this, then all these practices come and go, and we'll be caught up in the same place 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But when you start thinking, wait a minute, there is something, there's an elephant in the room I'm missing. And the elephant is this. Is my lifestyle based on this fundamental philosophy that I am part of the universe and the universe is part of me? Is it based? And if it is, then are my actions, are my thoughts, are my words reflecting that? My words might reflect. It's easiest to speak about these things. But are my actions then reflecting that? So I saw a piece of paper when I was mowing my yard today, out on the street. It is not in my property, but I noticed it, and it felt like it was a plastic cover just flying around. And immediately I went and picked it up and brought it. So when you're there, you're thinking, oh gosh, I have to touch it now. And luckily I was wearing gloves. So I went, picked it up, and I brought it. And the sense of peace came to me that I didn't allow this little piece of plastic to insult Mother Earth. At that moment I felt it, I did it. So now my point here is those little acts give us that confidence, gives us that clearness of perception. I am connected to Mother Earth, and I don't want this plastic, because you see horrifying videos sometimes of plastic getting stuck in sea animals like turtles and dolphins and so on. It's very sad. So why let this be like this, right? So small things you and I can practice this constant integrated awareness. Then you begin to embrace the whole of the earth, and the earth in turn begins to bless you. That prana that comes the benefit is inexplicable. That blessing is inexplicable, because the earth is not a dead matter. It is a live consciousness. It is the same consciousness that is manifested at the earth. So when you begin to respect it as something living, as Devi, as Shakti, and then you begin to respect, she in turn, Mother Earth, in turn begins to bless you. But all this comes with practice. So practice fearlessly. Practice the joy in your heart. Practice integrated awareness. Open your heart for unity and nothing else. And know that there is only, your hand has to go out to hug, not to separate, but to hug and bring together. Think about how you can do that in your life. So let us therefore invoke Hanuman with these thoughts in our mind tonight. Invoke him into our consciousness. So he who set a perfect role model can hold our hands and guide us. Let us, through our wings of our imagination, fly into his dimension, sit at his feet, and learn from him. Just sitting in his presence, as he's completely engrossed in the Ram now. And then we'll chant the Hanuman Chalisa. Om Bhuh Purusham Shri Bajranga Rupaya Shri Samba Sadashivam Avahayami. Om Bhuvah Purusham Shri Maruti Rupaya Shri Samba Sadashivam Avahayami. Om Suvah Purusham Shri Chiranjeevi Rupaya Shri Samba Sadashivam Avahayami. Om Bhurbhuvasuvah Purusham Shri Ramaduta Hanuman Rupaya Shri Samba Sadashivam Avahayami. Om. ततः पश्याम्यहं देवीं सुरसां नागमात्तरम् समुद्रमध्ये सा देवी वचनं मामभाषत मम भक्षप्रदिष्टस्त्वम् अमरैर्हरिसत्तमा अतस्त्वां भक्षयिष्यामि विहितस्त्वं चिरस्य मे एवमुक्तः सुरसया प्राञ्जलिः प्रणतस्थितः विवर्णवदनो भूत्वा वाक्यं चेदमुदीरयम् रामो दशरथिः श्रीमान् प्रविष्टो दण्डकावनम् लक्ष्मणेन सह भ्रात्रा सीतया च परन्तपः तस्य सीता हृता भार्या रावणेन दुरात्मना तस्या सङ्काशं दूतोऽहं गमिष्ये रामशासनात् कर्तुमर्हसि रामस्य साहाय्यं विषये सति अथवा मैथिलीं दृष्ट्वा रामं चाक्लिष्टकारिणम् आगमिष्यामि ते वक्त्रं सत्यं प्रतिशृणोमि ते एवमुक्त्वा मया सा तु सुरसा कामरूपिणी अब्रवीन्नातिवर्तेत कश्चिदेशवरो मम एवमुक्तः सुरसया दशयोजनमायतः ततोऽर्थगुणविस्तारो बभूवाहं क्षणेन तु मत्प्रमाणानुरूपं च व्यादितं च मुखं तया तद्दृष्ट्वा व्यादितं चास्यं ह्रस्वं ह्यकरवं वपुः तस्मिन् मुहूर्ते च पुनर्बभूवाङ्गुष्ठमात्रकः अभिपत्याशु तद्वक्त्रं निर्गतोऽहं तत्क्षणात् अब्रवीत् सुरसा देवी स्वेन रूपेण मां पुनः अर्थसिद्ध्यै हरिश्रेष्ठ गच्छ सौम्य यथा सुखम् समानय च वैदेहीं राघवेण महात्मना सुखी भव महाबाहो प्रीतास्मि तव वानर ततोऽहं साधु साध्विति सर्वभूतैः प्रशंसितः ततोऽन्तरिक्षं विपुलं प्लुतोऽहं गरुडो यथा
श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनो रघुबर बिमल जसु जोदायक फल चारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरा पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहे हरहु कलेश विकार राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाँ ते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाँ ते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाए राजपद दीन्हा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लियो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धिसा की गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। जय श्री राम।
समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. जय बोलो पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। सतगुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर शांति शांति शांति।